Charlie Kirk wasn't a perfect man. I often scoffed at his campus videos because, let's be honest, college isn't where you go for enlightenment unless it's a professor talking. But what does it say about us when his death gets treated like a meme? At the root of Charlie's death is a deeper divide about human nature, because modern people tend to see humanity in one of two ways. And it's a huge divide. Either people are good at heart, but corrupted by systems, and if we dismantle those systems, we'll create a better world. Or people are inherently selfish, tribal, flawed, or even sinful, and the best we can do is restrain those instincts with rules, traditions, and order. One side sees discourse as moral engineering, shaping virtue, reprogramming prejudice, making people better. The other side sees life as tragic. You don't fix evil, you fence it in. Don't try to remake men, build barriers around their flaws. The danger is this: if people are perfectible, then those who resist the program don't look like neighbors to persuade, they look like bugs in the code. Exterminate the bug, praise the patch. That's why some people can laugh at Charlie Kirk's death. In their eyes, he wasn't a patriot who loved his country and wanted to help his fellow countrymen, but just an obstacle in the way of the good future we should all be striving for. And that's ironic, isn't it? A worldview that claims to be about tolerance and love but ends up normalizing cruelty, so long as it's aimed at the right target. Don't build heaven on earth, or you'll create hell by accident. Dostoevsky warned about this in the Brothers Karamazov, in a story called The Grand Inquisitor. In it, he shows how even the church could turn into a prison when it tried to perfect people. The Inquisitor says ordinary people can't handle freedom, so the church should rule them absolutely. Give them bread, rules, and certainty instead of liberty. And that's the catch. Once you believe people can't handle freedom because they'll be imperfect otherwise, you'll justify taking it away for their own good. Once you decide the world needs saving, then anyone who resists your program isn't a neighbor anymore. They're just deadweight holding back paradise. And when you think that way, cruelty doesn't just become possible, it starts to feel righteous. I've seen this idea played out again and again. Institutions, schools, media, workplaces trying to re-engineer people into something fairer and better. But when you set out to fix human nature, you inevitably start ranking people by political virtue. Suddenly, it isn't that all men are created equal, it's that some men are more equal than others, depending on what slogans they chant. That's not just authoritarian, guys, it's fucking dehumanizing. And when you start dehumanizing, violence is never far behind. I know some will say Kirk's death is just one incident or even some kind of psyop to distract us from bigger issues, but I think the reaction is still part of the real story. Watching people celebrate it tells me something terrifying. The mask is off, and there are people out there who no longer see you or me as humans, who see our existence as something that needs patching out of society. Contrast that with Japan, where a viewer of mine recently explained the concept of ninjō. Even if someone is your enemy, there's still a basic human compassion, a reflex to say, what a shame. And that response is normal there. In the West, though, it's disappearing, or at least temporarily absent. Instead, we've embraced a cold, materialistic logic where the enemy is not a human being, but a problem to delete. Sam Hyde put it bluntly: Charlie is you. Anyone who doesn't drink the Kool-Aid is a target. Kirk loved his country, trying to help his people, and forgave those who disagreed with him. I didn't agree with half of what he said. I'm skeptical of unhinged free markets, and I'm not very religious either. But disagreement isn't the point, guys. Decency is. And when decency dies, so does the community of our country. Because here's the truth. If death is back on the table for ideas we don't like, America isn't a country anymore, it's just a war zone. And for me, this isn't just about Charlie Kirk. His death represents a large body of silenced voices. It tells every person who dares to speak their mind, you are not safe, not on campus, not online, not anywhere. Geez, if Destiny were killed, I wouldn't cheer. I'd mourn with the people who found value in him, even if I didn't. Because at the end of the day, we're all supposed to be countrymen. And turning every disagreement into a battle between humans and subhumans is a recipe for disaster. Why not emphasize what we already share? That's how you build unity. That's how you preserve compassion. But I feel that we've lost that. And until we find it again, every death, no matter whose side, will just push us further into madness. And as always, Scrutly Mutley.